Hello folks, and welcome into a very wet Blackpool pleasure beach. Today I'm here to walk the Big Dipper as part of the Walk the Woodie experience. I set off today and it was absolutely glorious weather, and I've got here and it's about 5 o'clock and the heavens have just opened. I originally had the big one walk planned for June 2020, but because of this guy it got cancelled.
Yeah, that's right, I cancelled it. All this COVID-19 shit. I mean, it's a day.
He's kind of calmed down a bit now, so they're allowing these kind of walks to happen again. So one roller coaster I've always wanted to get up on top of, to see the little oniony thing at the top and what's inside that white box that sits on it. So I'm going to take you along my journey. I'm going to have a chest mounted Osmo Action. Cheers Eric for lending me that. Thumbs up fella. So yeah, let's see how we get on.
What we'll do is we will start the walk and attempt to do the walk. You need to be very careful when you're walking, which you would be anyway. You need to look beneath your feet, because when you're walking on bare wood, those are the slippiest parts. And the main risk to you during wet weather on this is the slipperiness of the structure. Okay, so that's what we'll be keeping an eye on. If we're not happy with it, we will end the walk, okay, and then we'll reschedule with you. But obviously you're here now. It's been nice all day. It was a bit of an unusual forecast. We weren't really sure what was going to happen, so we're going to try and go ahead with it. But it's under those terms, all right? Okay. All right. So to tell you a little bit about the ride that you're going to be walking on, it's the Big Dipper. It was opened in 1923, and then the ride was extended, and into part of the extended bit is the bit that you'll walk around in the 1930s. It's obviously it's a very famous ride. We claim it's one of the first Big Dippers. There's obviously lots of Big Dippers across the world. It's certainly the first coaster in Europe to have what we call upstop wheels, which meant it was able to do steeper and faster drops, which obviously makes for a more exciting ride. And a couple of sort of good things about it is we've got 4 wooden coasters on the park. 3 of which are still reliant on manual brakes, and i.e. a brakeman stood in a brake box pulling a lever at the right time when the train comes in. What makes this one unique here is that that's the only one that we currently run multiple cars on, so we run 2 trains on the Big Dipper. The other 2, the Next Street and the Blue Flyer, which also work in this way, we only ever run 1 train on. The Grand National, which are our other wooden ride, used to work in this way, but we now have an automated braking system on that, and if you've experienced of it, make of it what you will in the way that it comes into brake. Okay, so you're going to be walking in the footsteps of our engineering team. They actually walk all of our wooden coasters every single day in full before we open, and hopefully this experience will show you what they do, but also you have a new appreciation for what they do prior to any guests coming through the door each morning. So the walk itself, you're obviously going to be following around. You're not going to walk the entire track. You'll walk certain sections of the track, and you'll realise why when you do it, because what you thought were small hills at the end of the ride, when you walk them, you suddenly discover that actually they're a lot bigger than you thought they were. The walk is physically demanding, okay, so you have to sort of be a little bit prepared for that, and it's a nice and rewarding experience as well. And don't worry, you do get to go to the top of the ride during the experience as well, okay. We'll be doing lots of stops though, which are the good points for you to be able to take photos. This is the big advantage of doing this over being on the ride itself, and you can't actually take photos. And it's at those stopping points that we want you to be stopping and taking photos. Unless you're filming, if you're filming, which you obviously are, if anyone's filming with a GoPro, you have to be aware, you have to be able to either attach it to yourself, which I'm not sure you're going to be able to do with that.
I've got chest here.
If you've got a chest harness, that would be preferable over trying to. We've had people before, we've done a few of these now, and this is a new product this year. Certainly because it's wet as well, I would advise for your GoPro that you attach it to a chest harness which can be worn around the safety harness that you're going to wear. That way you can press record, and then you don't need to do anything with it, and you can just not worry about it, which is probably a lot better than trying to carry that around, and that's because of the safety line, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a second. All right. Okay, so that's the way that we would like it to happen. We haven't had this yet with this experience, and maybe tonight will be the first time, but hopefully not. This experience was born out of the Walk the Big one that we've been doing successfully for a number of years. There's 4 of you doing the walk this evening, and basically there's 3 instructors with you, so you've always got an instructor next to you during the walk. So there's one of us at the front, one of us in the middle, and one of us at the rear walking you around, okay? In the event that you don't like it, and it's not for everybody, and suddenly you might not discover that you don't like it until you're halfway around or whatever, then just tell us. That's what we're there for. We're there for your safety. Okay, so for whatever reason, change your mind or say you don't like it, you just tell us, and then we decide what we're going to do. The team this evening, we've got Zach and Derek. At the last minute, he stood up and jumped in one of our team from Icon. It's been on Icon all day. And then Sally as well, but a couple of these people are actually rescue or hide people, and so if we do have to get you down, we'll figure out the best way. On Walk the Big one, the best way is that we sit everyone down. On the Big Dipper, it may be the case that you don't really want to sit down. It depends where we are on the structure and actually what you'd be sitting down onto. So if you don't like it, you tell us and we'll figure it out from there, alright? Okay. So we need to come through here. Someone wants to find our friend where he's going to.
You've got Skyfall for yourself.
You got that? What?
You've got Skyfall for yourself.
It's a bit lonely being a spectator on this, to be honest, but he does get a good photo opportunity for you. So. Alright then, guys.
Always wanted to do that. Sorry.
Oh my god, this is
I think my glasses are on. Keep going to fix them. I've left them in there. Yeah, I've just done that. Yeah, I've just put it in there for now, just before we take some piss before we get on. I'll slot it in my front pocket then. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that was in the house hill. No, it is when it's just, well, yeah. We've only ever had one complaint about it. Okay, so we're just checking the rider's locks off. What we mean by that is that the train can't go anywhere. We don't want to need the train halfway through. So we've done that. We'll take a quick walk down the street. We're all good, are we? Sorry, Derek, what's that? We're all good, yeah. We've got music now.
Music as well? Wow.
We're all good. Nobody's going where? Go ahead, it's not yourself.
Oh, well.
Who's walking on this one with me then?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
I don't know what way I'm.
Zach. Alright, no worries. Okay, so it's quite important though that you get into the order that you want to be in. So if you're desperate to go at the front, then you need to be at the front. So once we've connected to the structure, that's the order that you're going to go in, alright? So just make sure you're where you want to be and so on. And if there's two of you want to be in the same place, toss a coin or something, alright? Let's take a walk down there.
I'm quite happy to be in the middle, so.
Right, so what you'll notice, because it's wet, is the nice spongy floor. It's good. That's got anti-slip on it. So those bits cracks a little bit. The bits you need to watch out for are when during the track it switches over to wood like that. That will be
Slippy.
slippery.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to take extra care, and we'll obviously see how we go. I said we wouldn't cross the track, but we are going to cross the track here. You just need to stand into the middle and over like that. Let's do that. There we go. And then this is the check brake. And how is it different to the other brakes? Well, I said, remember, there's a man in the box, and the box is down there. Can you see that yellow handle? There's also a blue one and a white one in there, and those are used. Stop the train at the end of the ride, park it in unload, where we just were. Once it's clear, move it down into load, that's where it gets loaded, and then it gets back from there. And having that in place, along with the block section, there is a block section on this ride, which the lift acts as. And so if you see the ride stop halfway up the lift hill and then restart again a few seconds later, that's because we're running two trains on the ride, and we need to make sure basically the unload section is always clear of the train when another train is out on the track. Okay, but this is what's called check brake. Because it's nice and wet now, you'll find it'll be on a different setting than if it was nice and dry. And what this does, it's an automatic brake, is it takes the oomph out of the train before it reaches that point. So it started to be slowed by the check brake, and this is adjusted in the morning or during the day if the weather changes dramatically by the engineers to make sure that the train is slowed down, but it will not stop the train. So we are 100% reliant on that person in that box doing the right thing at the right time each and every time, right? To make sure that those trains don't ever mix. Alright? Okay, so that's the check brake. Alright, so we're going to go and connect onto the safety line now.
Pick of it.
Right, so just hold on to that. So this, what you do, put these two things up. So you push one, and slip it on.
Oh yeah, it's a pain in it. You gotta
do the other one, and it clips
clip
on.
onto that, yeah.
Okay. So when you're walking it, the best way is to keep holding it like that. Keep it in that little groove there. Keep it in that groove there. It will
Oh
slide
yeah,
and
I
push
see.
with
The
that
locks,
arm.
yeah.
If you do
Cool.
that, do that. If you slip out, it'll lock.
Cool.
Okay.
There we go.
You alright? Okay. I did say you'll hate that in about
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Already.
Or straight away. It's fine, don't worry. Just let the others connect on. When you get to here, and you want your slider in an upright position so it passes over that like
I see.
that, okay? But not completely upright, so that's about right. Little bit up more. There you go.
Oh yeah, I
There
see.
you go, and you've done it, okay? So you have a go at that. A little bit more vertical. There you go. Just a little bit more vertical. And you'll literally see. Sorry, son.
You alright?
There you go. Like that. Okay, but don't be afraid with your hand. You can touch this. It's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a little bit further.
There we go.
Well done.
Someone's mask fell off there.
Yeah, you'll see plenty of tanks. Reasons why you shouldn't take phones and so on rides.
Hey. You alright, huh?
Let me catch up.
Just spotted some of the sand there.
Oh, you see a bit more sand.
Yeah. It's one of the main things I want to see as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you definitely get to see some original sand.
Yeah, cool that.
We've all seen to get the hang of it. So well done. First drop done. See what I mean about what you think a small drop. Actually, you're a little bit bigger. So let's take another one.
Twist it. There. Oh, it's hard to do it out one then. No chance. Oh yes. Oh. It's on a roll there.
I said you to find it. Watch out for me.
Oh yeah.
Watch that little piece there sticking out.
It's quite physically demanding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's surprising how what you think. And you think they walk the entire track
Every
on all
day,
our
yeah.
rides every morning. So imagine on the Grand National.
Oh,
It's hard work.
yeah.
Well done. So a couple of things you might notice. We used to have a ride called the Turtle Chase,
Yeah.
which is a tumble bug ride that used to sit on
Used to be
here,
there, yeah.
on the top of here. And you'll see some of the turtles from it a little bit later in this walk. But this is the back side of the tunnel that you go on the PB Express as you go around. And obviously we've added Icon in to this space and made good use of this space. One of the good things about the Pleasure Beach is obviously having rides on top of rides, and you'll see when we get to the steeplechase that that's properly illustrated there. How you getting on, guys? you're getting. So I did say you'd hate the slider, but you're getting there. It is a bit, isn't it? So hopefully on a lot of the stanchions you'll notice there's numbering, and that helps us to identify where something is if there needs some work. Work done. And you'll also see with the track, you can see how, when I was talking about how this ride had up-stop wheels and can do steeper drops and tighter turns, if you imagine 100 years ago, it's quite a big deal. You've obviously got the running rails, which is a bit on the top too there. You've got an inside one as well on each side, where you've also got a wheel, which is basically steering and making sure that the train is travelling in the right direction in the right way. And then underneath you have an up-stop wheel, which is also effectively keeping the train clamped to the track, and that's what allows you to do high twisted drops and so on. So with a roller coaster, you're basically the train is clamped onto the track. All right, so that feeling of the train can come off the track is a bit false, really. Okay. All right, let's go a bit further. Now you'll notice that here the ground starts, or the walkway starts to get a bit funky. All right. Just watch out for these bits of metal bracing on the track down here.
Oh, yep.
All right.
Yep. Stood on the wood.
All right. You all right? At least you're not sat in one of the cars. Alright guys. Whew. Get that photo for You alright guys? You doing alright at the back? You all good? Okay. This is called a dog rack, and you'll see this on quite a few. You can see them on the top of that one as well. And if you remember, the train is travelling in this direction back to the station. If you don't have quite enough speed, it's free rolling, it's gravity driven once it's left the highest point. If for whatever reason it doesn't make it, it's much cheaper and easier to get a train back from here. This will catch the train and hold it there, rather than down in the bottom of a dip where you'd need a crane in order to get them out. If it stops here, then you get 6 or 8 burly lads, and they can come and push the train.
Wow. And
we can get it back to the station that way instead, which is a lot cheaper, faster and easier than trying to retrieve it from there. And the principle is the same as on the lift hill. You'll see on the pull-up, the click 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 noise that you hear as you're going back is the anti-rollback.
Rollback,
it works in the same way and you'll see that on a lot of roller coasters. All right, that's the dog rack. And then we're going to go and have a look down at the head chopper, and you'll see what a real head chopper it is. All right. Take care, because it gets a bit steep here. Right, and then the next challenge for you is to actually remove the safety line. It's easiest to do that by taking this out first. So you just up and twist, move.
Oh yeah. There we go.
There you go. Well done. And then when you do this, with your one, the easiest way to do it is halfway at a time. So don't feel that you have to touch the other half. So you do one half so it's off, leave it and do the other half. not trying to do them at the same time.
Oh, I see.
Alright, there you go, and you hold on to that. There we
Should
go.
I?
And now you're not connected, alright? So you need to take extra care on this part, alright?
Watch it don't slip again.
Obviously you can use the handrail. And watch this little bit there. And there's a frog as well, wow.
Yay.
Wildlife. There we go. Gone underneath the track. Well done. I copy it, I think that's quite a cool photo.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Right, it's just maybe that's one for...
One for the website.
There you go, I'm not credited yet. This is usually where we find either hats or a single trainer, and you just think, what did they do for the rest of the day?
A trainer?
Yeah,
Wow.
we have stuff like that all the time. You'd be amazed.
Wow.
At least 5 to 10 iPhones a day.
Yeah? Wow.
Rides where people drop them, they fall out, and so on and so on.
There's selfies going around.
Yeah, I look at a lot of that.
I suppose how small the actual tracks are, how thin they are.
For the running rail part,
yeah,
I was thinking the width of the wheel. Remember there's wheels there, around underneath. So,
Yeah.
and then you've got the track is actually ultimately made up of laminated pieces of wood stacked on top of them. You see that a lot more clearly when got some of the higher bits on there.
So it's listed, it's grade 2 listed, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's classic, it's like nearly 100 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, we would prefer them if, with rides you want to be able to make alterations to them and to keep them going and so on, so, but
I
yeah.
always wondered when we designed it that many years ago, we never had computers.
Well no, if you think...
Because you think
I know.
you could get halfway around and not make it all the way around.
Yeah, I mean,
We didn't know, did we?
it's
Just-
amazing what they did,
Yeah.
really. If you think 1920s, to do, you know, really quite impressive stuff.
Do the big roller coaster with park, no, you don't make it around like that, you don't know.
This is quite a head chopper, and this is why we say to people to keep your arms and legs and so on inside the car. But it's also a very exciting part of the ride, so I'm glad that it's here. But below my feet, you can also see one of the few glimpses around the park, and there are a few where you can see the original sand of what the beach was, and we ultimately were originally built on the beach. If you look at pictures of the flying machine, which is our oldest ride that opened in 1904, a lot of the early pictures you can see sand all surrounding them. And this is one of the other places underneath the flying machines. You can't see it because it's in a building, but underneath it in the foundations you can see the sand. Here you can clearly see the sand that we built on. There's a couple of other places. The Nickelodeon Street station, if the transfer bit, you can see across under there as well. And there's a couple of others. But yeah, we were built originally on the beach. This was on South Park. And there wasn't a lot down on South Park when this was built, so we had this a few years later. The miniature train came down here and so on, but a lot of stuff, it was mainly around where the flying machines and that area, and the park expanded out into this area, and this is why this particular ride was actually extended down into this area where we are now. So there you go. There's a nice peak of some sand that you would probably never notice when you're on the ride. Okay, so we'll go a little bit further. You are going to have to go up here and then reconnect onto the safety line, and then a really exciting bit, you get to see the back of Burger King.
Yay.
That's it, one half at a time.
Oh, nearly. Hey.
Well done. Good stuff. It's quite steep to take care of.
You worked here long, Andy?
Sorry?
You worked here long?
Yeah, this is my 7th season.
Oh, is it?
Prior to this, I used to work in an amusement park called Oakwood that no one's ever heard of. In Wales.
Yeah. Briefly.
Megaphobia was.
Megaphobia, yeah.
I'm a bit of a...
That's a Woodie, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah. Never been. Seen it
I
on
used to say it was the best Woodie in the country, but I'm not allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah. I want to go on that ultimate. I've never been to.
Oh, like Water Valley's one.
Yeah, it's been balls, hasn't it?
Yeah, so maybe it'll reopen. It's not a wooden coaster, it's a steel coaster pretending to be a wooden coaster.
Yeah.
But the second half of it's a strange ride.
It's just a weird like coaster. It just goes through the woods and then it's just like.
Well, the first half I think, oh, this is quite calm and not very.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then the second half. Although obviously remember to come here on the way.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Well, this was my childhood theme park. This, yeah. And I've been coming here for about what, 30 years.
Okay, brilliant. I did say it wasn't. This bit's not exciting, but this bit.
Oh, we were kind of expecting you were going to have a bit of a spread or something.
Watch out for this step here. We'll just let them. We'll get to a nice line point and let them pass on. There we go. This is where you realise how big the steeplechase is. As a ride, it covers a huge.
It's not one of my favourite rides, but it's different, isn't it?
It's the only one now.
It's only one, yeah.
I think because of the seating
Yeah,
position.
you're just sitting on it. You're not like strapped in on it.
I know it is, but it doesn't, does it?
It is. We obviously got the steeplechase, got the Revolution, which came 2 years after the steeplechase, which is an arrow ride, and then obviously the big one in the 90s. We've actually got 2 other arrow rides as well on the park.
Yeah.
There you go.
It used to scare me as a kid, that. I used to hate it.
Well done, guys. You all right? Yep. All good. Get a nice view of Icon in a minute.
Cool. Wasn't the original thing with Alice? Didn't Walt Disney come down and endorse it or something? He was
friends with the Thompsons, which allowed us to use the plans and build an Alice in Wonderland ride.
Why is it played with Willy Wonka or Willy ticket ride?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, just does. It's one of those weird words.
Do you know the river caves now?
Yeah.
Do you know that part where you put like the new LED lighting in?
Yeah.
Is that the part where the goalman used to go across it?
No, it's the cave section. So the sort of boxed-in cave section where you've got like lights sort of twinkling over the top of it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That cave is where it used to be open, so there was a restaurant.
That was right, yeah.
And then you used to get the Goldman go over the top of that
Yeah,
bit. But we boxed it in because that's now, you know where Gromit's flying his plane on Wallace and Gromit? That's above that section now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is kind of cool. You get to see a nice close-up bit of Icon track going underneath, and a mural that no one ever sees when they're on the ride. But again, the great thing about Pleasure Beach here, having Icon, the Big Dipper, Steeplechase, the big one, all piled on top of each other. Always surprises me how tall the block break is on the big, considering it's near the end of the ride. It's taller than most rides in the UK, so yeah, when you're on the ride, it feels like it's not as tall.
Like Revolution size, isn't it?
Yeah. So just watch this step, guys.
Oh, that is a bit, wood is a bit slippy.
You get to see some of those turtles that were used to be decoration on the turtle chase.
Wow.
And so we're very good at reusing things. So they've ended up here in the icon gardens.
Never noticed them icon things
The,
before.
red, like
Never
in
noticed them.
The other one.
Yeah.
These ones don't have names on them.
Oh.
So now you've got good at doing this. Want to disconnect, watch the step, and then reconnect.
Let's try. Oh, here we go. That's the one.
Move on side, like two steps it up. That's why it's not.
That's it.
There you go, well done. Reconnect.
Ready? Go and take that one off. One on side. So do that one.
The music you can hear is
I was
off
gonna
the,
say, yeah.
it's from the pier. It carries.
So yes, that's quite loud.
Well, I hope it is, because if it isn't, it means we've not turned our music off.
Sound quite close, doesn't it?
If the wind is blowing in the certain
Yeah.
direction. I was a bit worried with the rain, but it's been alright actually. I
Yes.
didn't say that actually until the end.
I know, yeah. It has eased off a bit. That's a bonus.
But also, you'll see a really cool view of the S-bend on Icon in a moment
Oh, yeah.
as well. And then we'll also see a nice little bit of the Pleasure Beach Express from Pond.
Can I not stop there then?
Well, it's all there just in case.
Rather have a rollback with it.
So if the ride were to roll back, because the next highest point of the ride is the inversion over there. So if, well, I don't know whether you've watched with Icon in the morning when we do a warming up. By the time it goes round, it should always complete the circuit. Because otherwise you could get to that point and then end up with the train back here, and if that happened we need a way to get people off. So this bit is probably the most demanding part of the walk, so make sure that you use the handrail, that's what it's there for. I don't want you to fall over because you've also got an audience because of the hotel, alright? take your time, guys. Watch out for these metal bits. Alright, it wasn't so bad. Well, I'll say that when we're all down to know. Well, yeah. Excellent. Just watch your head here, guys. Watch your head. And then again, watch your heads here.
Yeah, no. Oh, maybe not one.
Excellent. So we're going to walk down this. We said walk the Woodie, but you also get to walk a bit of the train track. As Derek's just said, the sleepers are very slippery, so you need to avoid them as best you can. Oh, choo choo. The bit that you walk down is what's called the second aeroplane turn. The first aeroplane turn is this one, the first twisted drop. Be pleased to know we walked it so you don't have to. Alright, so we won't be going up there. I'm quite scared.
Yeah, I was going to say
More of that sand for you. Watch your heads, guys. Excellent. Well done. Alright, so we're going to take a little sneaky route back on to the trap. Okay.
Can I get in the screen, you two? Just have a go now.
Nice cheeky bit here for you. And I hope, like all good enthusiasts, you know that although it's got 2 pull-ups on it, they're actually off the same chain. I'm going to ask him to reconnect on if you can do.
you want to go back to front again, are you okay?
I'm alright, you. I'm easy. You have the front.
windy.
Yes, a little bit.
Good stuff. Well done. So we're at the top. You can see a point of dispute that's been going on for 100 years over whether this is an onion or whether it's a droplet on the top. If you work here, you have to take one side and go with that. I need you, if you've not disconnected, I'll need you to disconnect in a second.
Okay.
We're going to walk around the top.
Yeah.
You're not connected, you must stay on the path, alright? Okay. If you don't like pigeons, you might not like this book. Kind of cool to see the back of the sign.
That's brilliant, that.
I think it's going to be quite windy out here. You can hopefully
I've always wondered what's
oh,
inside
you're
that.
going to be disappointed. How you know?
Wow. Wow.
You can also see lots of all that work's done in house by our cross team. Isn't that feature in there or something? Something to, you know. It isn't a pigeon. You are going to have to reconnect, I'm afraid. Okay.
Fortunately, yeah.
You crazy, what? Are you mad?
Where have you come from?
I'm still local,
I know, no matter where you go in the world,
Yes.
always a scouser. Oh yeah.
Maybe we can like live in Kent for like years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you doctors with
Yeah.
Mum.
Park Road I'm from, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mum was doctor in Lane Street,
Oh yeah.
and then you have to
Windsor Street, yeah.
and then now she's in the sheltered accommodation now when you.
Millie, is it? That
Oh,
one?
yeah, look, Millie, yeah.
Park, yeah. Is
Is
it?
Yeah. So what? Isn't it that right?
Yeah?
Some more social like than I am.
Oh, back starts wet now. I think so. Yeah.
You just leave it there for a minute.
You keep your nose up, Dan, yeah?
Well, that was certainly the wettest one we've done, so for you guys, you know, get the special reward for that one. There you go.
I could walk down, isn't it?
Good actually.
Good exercise, that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It was a bit windy, a bit wet.
Yeah.
That was alright, that.
But the first
Fair, eh?
half was alright. Disconnect for the last time.
Alice can do the next walk. My exercise for the day.
Sorry, Dan.
Got a bit finicky down now. My slides are still a bit finicky, aren't they?
They're definitely a bit finicky, yeah.
Starts off a bit, but you get used to the light in the end, actually.
There's a knack to it, definitely, but they are fiddling.
Sound.
To the lift. Well done. You did great. Oh no, don't be stupid.
It's all right.
Really well.
I was slippy and it got a bit.
Oh, it's fine. You've done really well.
I wasn't expecting the weather to just.
I know it did, didn't it?
I'm gonna go to a cafe and have a drink before I can, you know, get a cup of tea or something before, and then it just started absolutely.
Oh, well, look, you guys have completed our first ever Walk the Woodie in the wet. Super careful on this bit, it's a little bit awkward. This bit here. This step here, guys. Remember I said it was one chain on both pull-ups. From here you get a good idea of how they're in line with each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, there's only
This will go out of
Watch the step here, guys. Watch your footing. Don't forget to turn around and get a nice picture. There you go. Well done. And this last little bit is just to throw you, just super uneven, it's really difficult, so ground just goes a bit funny, and you've got this here.
Cheers.
Watch this with this. To finish, something you can never do in normal life. Congratulations, and we're going to take a walk back to where we started, alright? You did it, well done. I'm sorry that it rained on you.
Just dump them in here, cotton helmet.
And little piece of this take time. You do this like multiple times, you could build it in your garden. Yeah? I'll take your helmet for you.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Glue that on.
Take your helmet for you. There you go. That.
Bag.
That's your piece of the Big Dipper as well.
Cheers,
Mark.
thanks.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so sorry about the weather.
No worries. No worries. Good luck on your next one.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks a lot, mate. See you later. Cheers. Right, okay. Like I mentioned before, I didn't get to walk the big one last year, so I've come to Bond Street car park and I'm going to walk the big one. Right, I am now going to walk the big one. I don't know how many times I need to walk up and down to kind of justify I've actually walked it, but I will see, eh? Currently 8 o'clock at night on a Thursday evening and it is lashing down. See a Valhalla boat over there, steeplechase horse, and the undercarriage of it, the wheels. Right, let's go around again. Lap number 2. Let's get out of it so we can see it better. A little picky, I think. Whilst I am here, it'd be rude not to. Right, let's have another lap. So I am now officially walking the big one free of charge. I think a couple more laps and I'm done. Brush me wig. Right guys, cheers for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. And yeah, I have just been on top of the Big Dipper in this weather. Wowzer. Kind of preferred it, to be honest with you. Just taking a little look in the Bond Street car park there, just at the big one track, and the monorail cart still in situ. Yeah, so if you haven't done the walk the Woodie or walk the Big Dipper, try and get on it. I don't know what the availability is like, but yeah, by all means try and get on it. It's highly recommended. Cheers for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I almost forgot as well, once you've completed the walk you do get a little souvenir, and it's a little piece of wood off the ride, little thing on it saying I walked the Woodie. Nice little reminder of the visit. And also some merch, although I only bought a bag, which was, I think it was £7 or £7.50. Yeah, a nice little reminder of that walk. They also had some other merch on sale. I can't remember what it was. Was it a t-shirt? I think it was a resin, and I'm going to guess a teddy bear. I don't know.